under their wing.
Have we ever tried to meddle in other countries' elections?
Oh, probably, but it was for the good of the system in order to avoid the communists from taking over. For example, in Europe, in 47, 48, 49, the Greeks and the Italians, we
don't do that now, though? We don't mess around other people's elections, Jim?
Only for a very good cause.
Can you do that? Do a Vine video on a former CIA director.
Only for a very good cause in the interests of democracy.
All right, thanks for being here. It's always great.
Troubled me deeply. I do not think we should have pushed for an election in the Palestinian territories. I think that was a big mistake. And if we were going to push for an election, then we should have made sure that we did something to determine who was going to win.
Oh, boy.
I am confident that Assad's days are numbered.
The world will not waver. Assad must go.
We both agree that Assad needs to go.
It is just further evidence that Assad has to go.
He is no longer legitimate and that he needs to go.
For the sake of the Syrian people, the time has come for him to step aside.
Assad is on his way out. We all need to be thinking about the day after Assad.
Assad has lost all legitimacy, that his time has passed.
President al-Assad has lost legitimacy, that he needs to step down.
As I have said many times before, Assad has lost all legitimacy, and Assad must go.
And he has stated unequivocally that Assad has lost all legitimacy and cannot conceivably continue to govern.
Assad has lost all legitimacy to govern.
We've also been clear that Assad has lost all legitimacy to lead.
What we've done is organize the international community, saying Assad has to go.
And I'm confident that Assad will go.
So, I mean, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
No, I'm sure it did.
It's still important to remember Russiagate because this changes it from an issue over the Donbass far away from us to, well, yeah, Putin's screwing with our elections too. Here is the best argument for Russiagate in November of 2021 by David Frum, titled, "It Wasn't a Hoax." He writes this in The Atlantic. He said, here are the main points of the article. It remains fact that Russian hackers and spies helped Trump's campaign. It remains fact that the Trump campaign welcomed the help. It remains fact that Trump's campaign chairman sought to share proprietary campaign information with a person.
Wait, slow down. I'm not going to be able to remember all this. I mean, go through them one at a time here and we'll do them.
It remains fact Russian hackers and spies helped his campaign. True or false?
Well, yeah, just completely false. And of course, you see how vague he's being there. He can't say, we know for a fact they did the DNC hack. We know for a fact they did the Podesta hack. We know for a fact that they transferred this data to WikiLeaks. We don't know that whatsoever. And the Mueller report admitted we have no chain of custody to WikiLeaks whatsoever here. We have no idea who gave this stuff to Julian Assange, admits Robert Mueller. So what is it that he's referring to? You can, I guess, try to dump something down or make something new up to fit in there. But no, there's no hacking.
There's not even a link
because there was 2 parts, wasn't it? What's it?
Yeah, I'll go back, but there's not even a link to click on in the article, and he does that in his Atlantic article, so he chose not to put a link in there. The second, it remains fact that the Trump campaign welcomed the help.
Well, no, I mean, even that was obviously a Trump joke that he's referring to at the rally. And this just goes to show how absolutely thin and stupid and desperate these idiots are. David Frum, the idiotist among them all, that this is all they got, is that at a rally, Trump was making a point about the fact that Hillary Clinton was guilty of the felony of obstruction of justice because she had destroyed hard drives with 30,000, at least 30,000 emails on them that she lied, obviously perjured herself, and her campaign and the rest of them claimed were personal, private emails. And then she said, yeah, you know, it's like me emailing back and forth with Bill about I got yoga tonight. And then that's funny because we got Bill on camera saying he sent an email twice from somebody else's account in his entire life. He doesn't have email. He doesn't do email. He never did. And so, you know, we know she's a liar right friggin' there. And of course, 30,000 emails. Yeah, right. And it was her and her own people who deleted them all and destroyed them all forever. So then Trump did a speech And he goes, they keep saying that the Russians are hacking and giving the stuff to WikiLeaks and all this stuff. Well, I don't know about that, which there's no reason whatsoever to believe that, never mind evidence of it. There's not even an indication that that's true other than lies, other than a total hoax perpetrated by these people. But anyway, Trump says, by the way, Russia, if you're listening, there's still 30,000 missing emails, which is a joke I've made a bunch of times too. I'll make it right now. Russia or China or any other foreign enemy, if you could please find those 30,000 missing Hillary Clinton emails, I bet you they're not about yoga practice. I would like very much to see them. I think we all know what they are. It's her communicating with foreign governments about how much they have to pay her and her foundation to get a foreign policy that they want out of Barack Obama. That's what's in those emails, and we all know it. Not like she'd go to prison anyway. It's not like there's a rule of law. So come on, Russia, leak them damn emails. Anyway, that's all Trump was doing, was making fun of Hillary Clinton for being a liar and a criminal. And even then, even saying, by the way, like whoever's got those emails, sure, Russia, leak them. There ain't nothing wrong with that anyway, even if you take that purely at face value. What right does she have to delete 30,000 of the people's emails, Keith? None whatsoever. And I've long been a fan of the principle. I don't know who coined this or what, but it's something that Greenwald has talked about for years and certainly precedes him, which is that it doesn't matter what the source is. Like, for example, and this is like this can be tricky in journalism, right? Like, the CIA is kind of using you to push this story out, but you do think it's true and they do have good, you know what I mean? This kind of thing. So you go ahead and report it, even if, or for example, if it's a crime to leak Donald Trump's taxes, this is one a liberal like better. If it's a crime to steal and leak Donald Trump's taxes to the New York Times, if you're the New York Times, you go, I don't care who did this to him. If it was his niece, or if it was a jaded business partner, or if it was the CIA, whoever leaked these tax returns to us, we're going to report it, which is fair. Same thing if it was the Russians who leaked Donald Trump's tax returns to the New York Times. And it might be good if they included in the article that we have reason to believe it was the Russians who gave us this, which is kind of weird. But anyway, here you go. It's no different than, look, for example, at the Victoria Nuland phone call where they're plotting the coup in Ukraine in 2014. And that thing's on YouTube to this moment right now. Original version still up there that they posted. I'm almost sure it's the same channel and everything.
And she was assistant secretary to the state. What was her title again?
I believe it was Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs, or no, for European Affairs, which is sort of like an ambassador to the EU kind of a position.
Mm-hmm. Now,
and there's every reason to believe that phone call was intercepted and recorded and leaked by Russia. So what? Good.
Yeah, really.
Thank God. And you know what, Russia, if you're listening, there's 30,000 more Victoria Nuland phone calls that we would all like to hear. So by all means, publish them all. We hate the Kagans. They're the worst thing about America. Now, I wouldn't want the Russian government to actually do something to a Kagan, but to intercept and leak their phone calls, I certainly don't object. And now think about it like this. Never mind calling for them to leak more Kagan calls, but how about just the one we got that they posted? What should we do, Keith? Not talk about the F the EU phone call and all the important stuff in there because, geez, the origin comes from this foreign government that wanted us to hear it. You know what? We wanted to hear it for the same reason that foreign government wanted us to hear it. This is Americans plotting a coup d'etat in Ukraine. And that might be a coup that's against Russia's interests, but that doesn't mean it's for America's interests. That just means it's for Kagan's interests. And that's different. And so, we absolutely have the right to know and should want to know and have the right to keep passing that around. So, anyway, the whole thing was completely overblown. But here's the real reality, right, is, and see, you and I probably maybe are guilty of the same thing here where we're so caught up in arguing against this ridiculous panic attack by these people and how stupid it all is, right? We kind of maybe sometimes fail to put ourselves in their shoes about just how hysterical and terrified these people were. That, as you just said, this isn't just a debate about what's going on in the Donbass. This is Vladimir Putin overthrew the United States government. And the guy that they installed, it's not the same old Donald Trump you've known your whole life. No, it's Donald Trump Hitler. the leader of the Ku Klux Klan and leader of the right-wing fascist revolution to take over America and kick all the black people out, or whatever it is that you're supposed to believe if you're like a liberal Democrat woman in the Trump years. And then so this guy, first of all, he's Hitler, and second of all, Vladimir Putin installed him in power as a compromised Manchurian candidate. It's something that in all the years of the Cold War, no one ever thought that the Russians really took over America, right? But now they've done it, So imagine for a minute, if you really believed that for 3 years, how, obviously, first of all, how stupid you'd have had to have been, but also just like how emotional you would be about that. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, that Vladimir Putin. So this is a guy who he's done something very terrible to you before already. This is not in the Donbass thousands of miles from here. This is your life, Meanwhile, none of that was true. None of it was true. But man, did they believe it. And so, yes, I think that has absolutely just completely poisoned the mindset of the entire left half of the American political spectrum, and for that matter, the entire national security state and all the damn Lincoln Republicans and neocons and rhinos and never Trumpers and whatever on kind of the center right too. That they'll never let that go. It doesn't matter that Robert Mueller turned up a no bill because they had jack squat against anyone on this collusion with Russia thing. But they just forgot all that and went right back to, I can't remember who tweeted it. Someone sent me a thing or had a guy embedded in their article saying, you see, there's a direct through line from Russia's installation of Donald Trump back then to what's going on in the Donbass now. And it's just, whatever, dude. Yeah, because you're a Democrat and you think that. You know what I mean? They're stuck this way. They're like Republicans who believed in W. Bush and his wars. Like, how do you get them to climb down from that? It took not just Ron Paul, it took Donald Trump. 13 years later, Keith, to say, screw W. Bush and his stupid wars. Everybody hates that. And then they were like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? But that was what it took. It took 13 years. So they're never, for intensive purposes, they're never climbing out of this psychosis. They're stuck like this. And they got us, nose to nose with a thermonuclear weapon state, buddy boy.
Well, and also, it's almost as though the press and the politicians were able to make what might be a nothing burger out of into something huge. For example, if you go to Hillary Clinton's foundation's website, you can look in the large donor section, and between $10 million and $25 million donations is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Kingdom of Norway. So we explicitly have collusion between these groups. We have Barack Obama going to the other country of the UK to say, don't vote for Brexit. He comes out in support of Emmanuel Macron. That's interference. He supports Justin Trudeau. That's foreign interference. It's like these things, when they're done explicitly, it's okay. But when they're not done explicitly, they're evil. It's like killing a person's bad, but mass murder in war, well, that's actually a good thing. That's spreading democracy. So it's all in this spin.